My dad called me last night, and for the first time, I realized how deeply you've touched our family. I never imagined my dad would talk about someone like this. Yet last night, it was only you. His voice carried warmth, curiosity, and pride, and every word he said reminded me why I love you. My dad calling just to ask about you made me feel like our bond is becoming real, undeniable. He smiled through the phone as he spoke about you, and I could hear it even miles away. It was surreal hearing my dad discuss you as if he had known you forever. Every question he asked, every story he shared made me realize you've become part of my world. I never thought you'd become a topic that makes my dad's eyes light up over the phone. He spoke softly, carefully, but it was obvious. He's intrigued and maybe even a little fond of you. The way he described you made my heart swell with both pride and longing. I could hear my dad trying to understand you, and it made me love you more than ever. Last night, I realized you're not just mine. You're becoming part of everyone I love. He laughed while talking about you, and it was the kind of laughter that melts into memories. My dad calling me just to talk about you made me feel like I'm living a dream I never expected. He doesn't say much about anyone, but when it's you, he can't stop. There was a strange comfort in hearing my dad talk about you, like you were already family. My heart raced with every word he said about you, and I couldn't hide my smile. He asked questions I didn't even know I wanted answers to, all about you. I could tell he's slowly noticing what I've known all along, how extraordinary you are. My dad's voice carried curiosity, warmth, and approval, and it felt like he was welcoming you into our lives. I never thought I'd hear my dad speak so tenderly about someone else. Yet there you were. It's strange how hearing him talk about you makes me feel even closer to you. His questions were careful, thoughtful, but there was no hiding his fascination with you. Every word he said made me realize that you're becoming part of the foundation of my life. My dad called, but it felt like he was speaking to me and about you all at once. I could hear the pride in his voice, the same pride he reserves for the most important things. He doesn't often share feelings, but tonight, you were the only thing on his mind. Every story he told about you made me laugh and cry at the same time. My dad wanted to know everything, your quirks, your habits, even your favorite food. I felt a rush of gratitude, knowing that someone I love so much is also being noticed by him. He said things about you I'd never expected, and it made me see you in a new light, too. My dad calling just to talk about you felt like an unspoken blessing. I realized you've become more than just my secret. you're slowly becoming a shared joy. He laughed at something you did, and I realized he's slowly learning to love you like I do. I could feel his curiosity, admiration, and maybe even a touch of awe, all in his tone. It's rare that my dad gets so animated, but with you, he couldn't stop. Every question he asked, every story he shared, reminded me why you're unforgettable. Hearing him talk about you made me think maybe he sees what I've always known. You're special. He doesn't open up easily, but when it's about you, he can't help himself. My dad called me just to talk about you, and suddenly the distance between us felt smaller. There's something magical about hearing someone you love be noticed and appreciated by your family. Every pause in his voice made me lean in, eager to hear more about you through his eyes. He doesn't say much, but when he does, it matters. And last night, it was all about you. My dad's voice carried warmth, concern, and pride, and I couldn't stop smiling the entire time. It's funny how someone can become so important that even my dad can't stop talking about them. I realized that in his questions, there was admiration, curiosity, and a touch of respect for you. My dad doesn't talk about feelings often, but last night you were the only topic. Every story he shared about you made me feel closer to both him and you. My dad called, and for a moment, it felt like the universe was acknowledging our connection. I could hear the delight in his voice, the kind of delight reserved for rare treasures. He didn't just ask about you, he wanted to understand you truly, deeply. Last night, I realized my dad sees the same light in you that I do. I never thought someone could make my dad so animated, but here you are. My dad called me just to talk about you, and it made me feel like our bond is undeniable. I could hear his admiration, curiosity, and subtle affection all through the phone. He asked questions that revealed he already cares more than he lets on. My dad, calling just to talk about, you felt like a quiet acknowledgement of our love. My dad's voice lingered with curiosity and warmth as he described the little ways you've changed me. I never thought hearing my dad talk about someone else could make my heart beat this fast. He asked about your day, your habits, your laughter, as if knowing you made him lighter. My dad, calling just for you, made me feel like you're becoming more than my secret joy. He shared small observations, the tiniest detail, yet each one made me see you in a new light. I realized he's slowly learning to love you in the way only a parent can. My dad laughed while talking about you, and I could hear pride hidden behind each chuckle. He doesn't usually call just to talk, but last night you were all he wanted. Every word he said carried subtle admiration, as if he's discovering what I've known all along. My dad's curiosity about you made me feel like our bond is not just mine to cherish. He asked questions I didn't expect, showing he's genuinely interested in who you are. Last night, I realized you're slowly weaving yourself into the fabric of my family. He didn't just talk, he remembered, laughed, and lingered on every little detail about you. Hearing my dad speak about you made me feel proud, loved, and deeply connected. He's not one to express admiration easily, yet with you, he couldn't help it. My dad calling for no reason other than to discuss, you felt surreal, almost magical. Every story he shared about you made me smile and ache at the same time. His tone carried warmth and curiosity, making me feel our connection is recognized beyond us. He wants to know everything, the quirks, the habits, the way you smile, and it's oddly comforting. My dad calling just to talk about you made me realize how significant you've become. I could hear subtle pride in his voice, the kind that only comes when someone truly matters. He laughed at your little quirks, and it was the kind of laugh that makes memories stick. My dad doesn't say much, but tonight you were all he wanted to speak about. Each question he asked made me feel like he's slowly understanding why I care so much. Last night, I realized that you're no longer just my joy. You're becoming part of everyone I love. He was quiet, thoughtful, but every word reflected fascination and a hint of respect for you. My dad called, but it felt like he was talking about a treasure he's just discovered. Every detail he wanted to know about you made me feel seen, loved, and understood. His voice carried a strange warmth, like a gentle acknowledgement of what you mean to me. I never imagined my dad would spend hours discussing someone else, yet you held the stage entirely. Hearing him talk about you made me feel like our bond is now witnessed and celebrated. He asked subtle questions, revealing he already cares, even if he doesn't say it outright. My dad called, and in every pause, every laugh, I heard admiration and curiosity intertwined. Last night, I realized someone I love is slowly becoming someone my dad admires too. His voice carried pride, warmth, and a quiet fascination that left me smiling uncontrollably. He doesn't open up easily, but with you, even his silence feels like acceptance. My dad's curiosity about you made me feel like our story is growing beyond just us. Every question he asked reflected interest, care, and a subtle approval I wasn't expecting. My dad called, just to talk about you, and in that moment, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace. His words lingered long after the call ended, making me feel closer to you and him at the same time. I could hear the warmth in his voice, the pride hidden beneath subtle laughter about your stories. My dad wanted to understand you, to know the ways you've changed my world. Last night, I realized that someone I love is also being noticed and appreciated by my family, and every story he shared made me feel like you're slowly becoming part of our lives. My dad doesn't usually call without reason, but with you, he broke his own rules. I could hear fascination, admiration, and subtle affection in every word he spoke about you. He asked questions I didn't expect, each one making me feel proud to love you. My dad calling just for you made me realize you're no longer just my heart's secret. I could hear warmth, subtle pride, and a quiet joy whenever he spoke your name. His laughter, his curiosity, his pride, it all revolved around you, and it made my heart full. My dad called me to talk about you, and for the first time, I felt our love validated. Every detail he wanted to know about you reflected a subtle admiration that took me by surprise. His voice carried subtle delight, as if discovering someone extraordinary was his secret pleasure. My dad doesn't usually express feelings, yet last night it was all about you. I realized that you've become more than my joy. You're slowly being woven into our lives. Every story he shared about you was laced with curiosity, warmth, and quiet pride.